Okay.
So let's move it right on along
All
to our
right.
topic of the day. Do women want to be objectified?
Do women want to be?
Yes. So this kind of got why I wanted to do this topic was because in a recent interview, actress Cameron Diaz said, I think every woman wants to be objectified.
Oh, you know, yes and no. It's a hard thing just to try to make it as a woman, just on brains alone and intellect alone, because even the women buy into it, the men buy into it, and when we display, I'm gonna go back. I have a lot to say. When we display the same traits that are so admired in our male counterparts, we're looked at totally different. I mean, we have the same issues being black also. You know, so it is different. I think that everybody wants to be valued in some way.
Well, you know, let me go through what even sexual objectification means. It involves viewing and treating another person's body as an object value based on its sexual appeal, usually to the neglect of other aspects of the person, such as their thoughts, feelings, and desires. So, you know, I kind of felt as I don't like the word objectify. I think that most women, I can't talk for all women, of course, but most of the women that I know want to feel appreciated and admired, but not seen as just an object. You know what I mean? It's like going to the club. I feel like that's where you feel like, okay, you know, tonight I'm putting on my freakum dress, and I know that there's someone that's going to like what I have on. I don't care if I'm 300 pounds. There's someone that's going to say, I look sexy, I look hot, and they're going to try to get in my panties.
Well,
and
okay.
as long as you know that's what they're looking for, that's how they're going to be objectifying you, and you know that, then don't get nobody's number.
Right. Okay. Well, you know, men are visual.
Of course.
And women, we look at women too. We always comparing ourselves to other women. So it's not like when you're getting prepared to go out into the world, to meet the world, you know that you're going to be looked at by all genders. Okay, even the ones in between or this and there, they have different preferences. It doesn't matter. We look at each other.
My boyfriend always says, oh, well, you know, women do it more for other women than men. And I'm like, to me, yes and no. I think that women look sexy for men to say you look nice and to be admired. The only reason why you're worrying about another woman is because I have to make sure try to look better than the other woman that's standing right beside me. Okay. If you're worried about women.
Well, okay. There seems to be, you know, in your definition, when they're talking about objectification of women, sexual objectification of women, there does seem to be a disconnect between disregarding the personal and intellectual abilities and capabilities of a female in favor of just looking at the woman totally in a sexual way. And this is our reality, whether we like to admit it or not. And I know I'm a slow one to come to this reality because I used to think that, you know, I'm not claiming to be Elizabeth Taylor, but, you know, maybe some people do think I could have been, or I still am. But I'm not ugly, okay? And I'm not ugly outside or inside. But I really wanted to try to think that my looks did not play that big of a part in how far I could go in life, or my physical appearance. Even though I like keeping myself looking good because I get it from my mom and my grandmama. But I wanted to think that somehow it wasn't my feminism, my feminist stuff wasn't that important. And at the end of the day, now at my age, you can't get away from it. Right. You cannot get away from it.
You know, every time you look on TV, I mean, out of the 100 that you see, maybe you see 2 men out of the 100 of women that's half naked. It's just everywhere that you go. And, I mean, to me, it's just like, if you really base our culture on what you see on media, you're always going to be unhappy because, first of all, what they show you in media, really around the age of 21, you start losing your look. No, you're not fantastic look anymore. You're not youthful. You're not as skinny as you used to be. And it's like, to me, you have to define beauty in a healthier way, because you're going to be depressed at the age of 22 if you're thinking
that
nobody wants me. I mean, my own uncle told me you're no longer desirable when you turn 30.
Well, you're not talking about. You're talking about one of my brothers, and let's just say we were raised in the same household. We certainly have a different outlook on life, and I don't know where he got this preference for just youth from. Quite honestly, I mean, because his was not, and wasn't very healthy. His outlook to me.
However, I go, this is a person that loves me. This is a person that cares for me, and he has no problem telling me, oh, at 30, you can hang it up. I'm like, dang.
Well, that's not true. That's not true.
I don't think that's the majority. However, that's scary to see that some people think
so
like that.
We're talking about treating women as sexual objects and ignoring everything about the woman other than her sexuality. I don't even say sexuality. It's two different things. When you look at it, how about the way that we look at a particular woman's body parts? And I'm going to just go directly with the things about black women that for years, the majority of society tried to tell us that we were ugly because of these things. And now people are paying thousands of dollars to get what is part of our genetic code, such as, first it was the bigger lips.
Right. I don't think that's where we need to go with it.
That it's part of it. Okay? First it was the boobs. You want a bigger breast. You want to be a size 0, but you want a double D cup breast. You have no fat, so you have to go put some in your body, get some, so then you have stuff where you have commercial different things, other things looking at your breast. Okay, then you look at women, all of a sudden you got the lips, and what we used to say with thick lips wasn't attractive. Now it's a beautiful thing to have. And, you got the Angelina Jolie as being named one of the most beautiful women on the planet, looking with her historically black-looking lips. Now we got the butt stuff going on. So it's still body parts.
That's just saying that women are really saying, okay, whatever you put in the media, that really men are controlling the media, then we're taking in whatever they say is sexy. So really, we should be looking at ourselves going, why are we believing what a lot of them are gay, bisexual, white men are telling everybody else what is beautiful?
Well, the only thing that's favorable in this trend is that I'm glad we're moving away from Twiggy and wearing the object, to be beautiful and sexy, you had to be a size 0 with a boy's body build, not even a woman's curves, breasts or anything. So thank God we're moving away from that little unnatural look. Where, if that's your body feel and it's natural, that's fine. Most women, after you start to, get in your mid-20s, you're going to have some hips. And they gave an idea of beauty of only someone between the ages of body build of less than 18. That for a woman to be able to maintain it. Unrealistic.
Well, they said, really, others' objectification becomes self-objectification. And really, it's a double-edged sword, and it makes you feel great when you're getting the positive attention. But it can easily turn when it's, negative or lacking, and it really wreaks havoc on people's mental and physical health. And some argue that, women objectify themselves as an expression of empowerment over men.
Ooh.
And, others say, we have increased sexual freedom, and, this is why we do that. And now they're saying if with gay and bisexual men has even led to objectification of men.
Okay. I want to go back a second and talk about what you just said,
right,
about how we take it in and how it does affect our mental health. And we get some of the consequences, depression, anorexia, bulimia, and sexual dysfunction, and looking at our bodies in a way that's shameful because we don't meet this standard of what someone has said we should meet. So like I said, now, our society is becoming even more accepting of things that before we considered should be put away. So I can see all the stuff that was just constrained just to women now is constrained to, it's going across the genders. I can understand that.
Right. Well, I think it gets even worse. If men are making women feel like objects. Of course, as you know, they said, gay men and bisexual men. Of course, it's going to be the same type of objectification. Why wouldn't it be? And I thought it was scary when this professor said violence and exploitation of women are both tolerated, and when they're trafficking encouraged, it makes it easier to mistreat women when we have the status of objects rather than people. And it's almost always the first step towards justifying violence against that person. So I think that kind of made it scary. As in, like, the more women are seen as objects, the more it's like, well, you're nothing.
Well, this has been going on for a while. You look at the ads. You have to understand that because we no longer, even you just look at body parts, just some even in the media, how people shoot ads, and they might not even show a woman's face. You know, they just show different body parts, and then that's part of the sexual objectification as well.
But do you think women want that?
I don't think women are subconsciously making the decision in a very conscious way. I think they just get collecting a paycheck in some cases. Even if they had some awareness of it, it's still a paycheck. People have to earn their living. I'm not saying that you can't say no, but you don't know what each person's reality is. So, but all of it contributes to this thing of women are less than a full-blown human being. And that we're just sexual toys, as Hugh Hefner said back a few years ago. The women are just sex objects, period. That's who we are. That's what we are. And he's made his fortune with that concept in mind. You know, we're sex objects. Okay. And if you weren't, there wouldn't be another generation because nobody would want to get between a woman's legs, kind of what he's saying.
Well, you know, so I asked my friend. And, you know, he was like, well, of course women should want to be objectified. Look, I didn't look at a woman and go, I bet she's smart. No, I looked at her breast, I looked at her butt, and, of course, you should do the same thing with a man. It's like, get together if you didn't objectify someone at the very beginning.
Well, maybe that's called chemistry and sexual attraction.
Yeah, I don't consider that under objectification. We just see the person as
we're animals. We can admire things and beauty in another animal.
I just call that lust.
Well, it shouldn't be lust. It's just to be you have admiration for a beautiful human being. To see when you admire a beautiful flower, you admire another human being, and maybe they're beautiful, maybe they're sexy. I think that's just a part of being human. Yeah. It doesn't mean that you're treat them like an object. You just admire them.
But I think some women do like to be objectified because, I mean, you see some women, and I mean, every time it becomes summer at Mondawmin Mall, there was one woman with her butt out, and I'm like, you can't tell me it's hot outside that you need to have your butt out. Like, you don't mind being looked at as an object. You enjoy it. And it's really the easiest way
to get attention.
Everybody's
going to look like there's her butt hanging out.
Everybody was looking, even when they turn around, because you're like, what is the man looking at? Everybody turns around.
Their butts out. And probably with people's families and children and everything. They're right. How many times we went to the festival?
She had on, like, thong, booty short jeans.
And my son, how old was your brother about then?
Very young.
He was very young. And he's, like, staring because their butts were out.
And they were sitting there laughing like,
I mean, I don't mean a little bit. Their butts were out.
Yeah.
You know, at a family function.
They looked like regular shorts in the front, and then they cut their butts out, and it was like a jean thong in the back.
Yeah. And walking, pushing baby. One of them was pushing a baby carriage.
Yeah. I said, whose idea was this? How do you sit in your house and be like, you know what we need to do? Take our booty shorts, cut our butts out, and walk out there with the kids. What you think? And you got a friend to go along with you?
Yeah, there they were. Everybody was turning around.
Everybody. I said, what are they turning around? They just had, like, booty shorts on. What are you turning around for? Now I see.
And the front looks like shorts and the back looked like thongs.
Yes.
Walking in a public place. They should have been arrested for indecent exposure.
Yeah, it was scary. So, you know, I think there's always a positive and negative, you know, to using your objectification for power. Because, I mean, a lot of women do use it on jobs, trying to, like, get, you know, raises and trying to really get close to men that can give them better jobs, give them more power. But I think in the long run, then it hurts you one, other women don't like you because it's like you just use your body, to get somewhere. And at the same time, people really don't feel like you deserve it, so they're going to disrespect you. But sometimes I feel like, yes, women, if you're going to use the whole objectification thing, use it and get your bills paid, everything. If he's looking at you like an object, then you better hold your little cookies up until you get what you want.
Yeah.
Because some men are not going to change. Some men are going to always look at you as the only thing is you're a vagina that happens to be attached to a female that keeps on talking. And I wish you would just shut up. I mean, that's the truth. And I'm like, if you know this is the kind of man you have,
okay,
you better get all that you can, because when a man looks at you like an object, after he gets what he wants, he's done with you. And then you're going to feel even worse. And then you're just going to have this awful cycle of
being done, having sex. You're looking for a relationship, they're looking for sex. Right. You're looking for an emotional relationship, they're looking for a sexual contact. Okay, hit and run miss, okay?
Right. And we always say, I should be able to wear anything. You know what? You can wear anything, but just don't be upset when they assume when you're something else.
What Dave Chappelle say?
Don't get mad when you in hoes clothing and I think you a hoe.
Right.
If I was in policeman clothing and I said I'm not a policeman, but what you doing in the policeman's outfit? So, and that's why I said that sometimes those outfits need to say to going to the club. Everybody loves, Beyonce. I really don't talk about her a lot, but I use her as an example. She wears her, to me, no clothing when she's performing. When you see her not performing, she's fully clothed.
Yeah.
So take that as your cue. If you want to go out and that's your time to kind of perform and be your alter ego, that's fine. But when you're going to a club, that's not the time to pick up the man, because he's seeing you in your whole outfit and not your real outfit. Now, if you're in your whole outfit any other time, well, that's just you, be it you. But most of the time, that's the kind of advice I give to that.
Okay. Well, I can.
Meaning when you got your clothes on.
Yeah, but that you don't want to be objectified. So don't take a relationship when you meet a man seriously. When you are in, you say your whole outfit, and then you're showing every sexual thing you got going on, and then expect him to look at you into your mind, into your personality. That's not usually going to happen. Because you're showing everything you got out there that's physical, that is designed to be physically attracted to
and if you do
a man.
Find him and you really like him and you do, I suggest the very first date you wear something with all your clothes on, so he would be like, oh, that was her going out outfit. Don't try to be too overly sexy on that day, because he can be like, oh, that's her regular clothing.
Draw that line.
I think just as women, we have to draw that line. Because, everybody wants to have a sexy outfit. Every woman wants to be desired.
Sure, and every now and we have to keep in mind about drawing that line, because the man will tell you at the end of the day, it's all the power's in a woman's hands.
Right.
Okay, it's up to the woman. They only go as far as the woman will allow them. I'm not talking about the freak. I'm talking about a normal